Hey everybody, Von here with the Vonster vlog, and welcome to what day is it? 133 in a year of yoga. Oh my goodness. That is just chugging right along though, isn't it? Okay, still building on that same sequence that we've been working on for not quite a week and a half, but it feels like it. Sorry, I had a brain fart for a bit. So we're going to, I've got a block at either end of my mat, and I do have a strap here that I'm going to position at about the halfway point on my mat just to make it accessible. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. We're going to begin in mountain pose with our feet relatively narrow together. I've got my feet closer together than what I typically do. Inhale. Just connect your breathing with your consciousness, just being very aware of it. On our next inhale, exhale, lift arms overhead, plugging into the ceiling. Then inhale, swan dive down as we exhale into our forward fold, and we can totally use a block here to lift the ground up to us. I'm going to do 3 breath cycles in most of the poses today. When using a block, I really like to use it to help me make space as I inhale, to be extending my back out, filling my lungs fully. And then exhale, go a little deeper. Inhale. On our next exhale, let us, come up to flat back. You think I'd have it down by now, but no. And we want the same kind of engagement through our back as though we had our arms extended overhead. So now we will inhale and exhale, walk our hands forward into a plank position. Inhale, exhale, down and up and through into up dog. Inhale, and oh my gosh, that one kicks my butt every time, but we're here to get our butts kicked a little. Do some butt kicking ourselves. Downward facing dog. Really, maybe to come up onto your toes and really get into that stretch for inhale and exhaling down. Letting our heels come towards the floor. They don't have to be touching, but to just really just focus on that stretch between our heels and our sit bones. Inhaling, I'm going to walk my feet up to about the center of my mat, then bring my hands back the rest of the way. Exhale up to flat back. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Let your head and shoulders hang, perhaps. Inhale, and on our next exhale, bend our knees just a bit and roll up. Oh yeah, one vertebrae at a time. Arms overhead. Not bunching our shoulders up by our ears, but really just opening up through our whole trunk. And do whatever makes you feel good with your hands. We can do some figure eights, like how whenever we spin poi, but without the poi. For our next movement, we are going to come into the center of our mat. Inhale, shifting our weight over into our right foot. Exhale, bringing our leg up and around. Whoop. Bringing our foot to our calf. This is unique. This is the first day that I've experienced a cramping in that muscle, and then like on like my side back hamstring. The those are I think of the gate opening muscles for like hinging open our thigh. Let's exhale, shift to the other side. Inhale and exhale, up and open, foot to calf. Inhale, exhale, come to center. Let's come into warrior two. So right foot parallel to the right edge of the mat, left foot pointing to the left. And we are going to travel our knee very safely down the center of our foot as we inhale up and exhale open. Keeping our hips nice and square and open, keeping our shoulders square and open. Inhale, reaching forward. Exhale, up and back into reverse warrior. Feeling a nice stretch and engagement through our front oblique, but also a nice contraction on the back oblique as well. And through this movement, be sure to breathe as deep as you can. Let's come up on the exhale. Inhale as we lean forward and straighten our leg, and then exhale, come down. Fingertips to either a block or the ground. I still feel like I benefit from having a block on this. Oh yeah, I get so much deeper into that spinal twist. Whenever it's challenging, I still try to breathe as deep as I can, but it really, like, I even notice, like, my breathing speeds up. It's like, okay, let's get through this. Try to do it slower than what you want to. And that's advice to myself as much as anybody watching. So I'm going to come up. I don't think I'm ready for the half moon pose where we come up and I say that, but here we are. Ooh. Okay, so my balance still isn't quite there, but I am going to come up into warrior three supported with my block because it's kind of a precursor posture. We still have our supporting leg and we can practice rotating our hip open, much like when we're in tree pose. So from here, I'm going to extend my right foot back, put my left foot a little wider, lower my right knee to the ground, untuck my toes, and come up into a crescent lunge. Inhale and exhale, coming forward. Let's extend back. Ooh, sitting over our back foot. Just getting a little bit of a counter stretch into our hamstring. Now from here, I'm going to bring my left foot over and bring that left knee up into the center, well, kind of in between my hands, kind of in the center. Ooh, I just popped my knee and it felt really good. Thank goodness that was a good pop, not a bad one. So you could feel free to use a block under your back hip if you need it, or under your hands. We're just coming up into pigeon pose. You want to keep your hips, your pelvis squared. That way you're not feeling this in your knee at all. And we can fold forward over our front leg. Just a few deep breaths. Really getting into that yin aspect of the practice. Just relaxing into it. And so now, I'm actually going to come back up. Let's take just a moment to see if we can support with just our muscles, no arms. And back down. Even if it's just for that brief moment, it's still good to build that practice. So I'm sitting up in a like almost a 90-90 position with my knees bent at 90 degrees. And I'm just going to take my strap that has a very wide untwisted loop in it. I'm going to put that around my foot. Now I want to be holding on with my foot, not my ankle, if I can manage it. Or if you do it around your ankle, just be mindful. Don't feel like you have to like rip your foot off to get the get your foot up there. But you just honor your body, you guys. You've got this. And now having this lasso around my foot, I'm going to come back into pigeon and with the assistance of the strap, I want to see how far up I can reach my foot, engaging with the muscle. Ooh, and that cramps, doesn't it? Oh my goodness. Right there in the hamstring. Shoo-wee. That's all right. Oh, now my hip flexor's cramping. Y'all, this is kicking my butt. Ah, that's okay. We can do this. I'm just going to come forward. You can have your elbow on the mat. You could have your forearm on the mat. You could be up supported by your forearm. You could have a block, but I've lassoed my right foot with my left hand. And while I'm using the lasso to help me stretch into my quad, I'm also engaging my hamstring and my glute. Oof, much as it cramps me to do so. Hooey, to try to get my muscles used to being in that range of motion as well. So, well, that's a little bit more of a passive stretch. I'm trying to bring some active elements into it as also. Alrighty. Okay, we can do that. That kicked my butt like super duper hard, y'all. Give me a sec. Some things I would like to remember today. My kitty Ember, who is the oldest of all of our fur babies, really, she's an indoor cat. But she does like to take periodic adventures out onto the front porch. And today was one of those days, and she went, and it was so sunny. The sun's coming in at a real low angle this time of year, so the whole porch had just been soaking up sun all day. And she laid on the warm concrete and was just rolling and showing her tummy. And she's such a good girl. I'd like to remember that. I'd like to remember Sam covered in juniper berries because our sidewalk getting from the gate to the porch just completely covered in like juniper needles and like juniper berries, not elderberries. And then I was sitting on the yoga mat outside earlier today, just doing some journaling, like preparing for 2020, and hanging with the chickens. And I just remember like looking over, and Callie just comes like so picturesque, so perfect, just running in between the poop buckets and the bales of straw, just eye contact the whole time, and her whole like demeanor is just so happy to see me, and I was so happy to see her, so we both kind of just watched each other as she came closer, and then I just petted her. She's such a good girl. And Nutmeg and Clove are just, they're my cuddle friends. Ginger could be a cuddle friend. These are my chickens, by the way. But Ginger's still a little standoffish, but Clove's like, you feed her once and she's your friend forever. I mean, same, but uh, it was really, I felt like a Disney freaking princess, y'all, just sitting there with my chickens and my cat, like, felt like the chicken whisperer. And had a really cool idea that I'd like to try to bring to life, because the roosters are like all of our neighbors have roosters now, so they're all yelling at each other constantly. Um, like I almost want to just get a rooster just to fit in. um, but to do like a warrior fairy, who's riding on the back of a battle rooster, with his glorious tail feathers and his crest, and like the fairy would have like a spear, and just like both of them doing their battle cries. I also want to do a fairy, like a watercolor of a fairy, similar concept, warrior fairy on the back of their battle beast, but a fairy riding the back of a toad with like a mushroom cap for a helmet and like a trident. Like, I don't know, that'd be cool. Like, I would like that. But just different ideas and thoughts that I've had today that I'd like to focus on those. And I thought I'd share them with y'all. Let's go kick the other butt cheek. If we got half of our butts kicked, let's go kick the other one. So I am going to come back up to standing, and we're going to turn. I've got to figure out a cleaner transition between the two halves, but right foot toes pointing to the right edge of the mat, left foot parallel to the left edge of the mat. Inhale up. Exhale, right foot over the center line of our right toes, keeping our hips squared, keeping our shoulders squared. And while we're here, we can change the positioning of our hands. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, up and back. Exhale, come up. Oh man, my knee was like way over here. We need to focus on keeping that knee safe over the center line of our foot. Inhale, extending arm forward. And exhale, with that straightened front leg, bring your hand down to a block. And inhale, twist towards the sky. Let me see. I forget what the next. That's right. Okay. Our next posture from our triangle pose with a twist is to come up just a bit. I'm going to actually use the ottoman here. We'll lift our back leg. Let's see if we can do the half moon here. My leg is just wobbling. No, we're not quite. We're not quite at half moon, but we can practice warrior 3 to build up those stabilizing balance muscles. And feel free to hold on to something, because even if you just do 2 fingertips onto the furniture in front of you or onto your block or something, um, it's still building so much strength in our support leg. Let's inhale and exhale, bring that back foot down to the mat, putting my right foot a little wider, bringing my left knee to the mat. Inhale and exhale into crescent pose. Exhale, folding back forward, extending that front leg as we sit back. Ooh, and get a nice little hamstring stretch. It's really nice, especially after cramping it not too long ago. You were there. Inhale. Let's bring our right foot to kind of right in front of our left knee. Then I put my hands down and just swing my knee in between my hands. You could have a block underneath your booty to keep that hip up, under your hands to help bring the ground to you. I'm actually feeling a really good stretch in my abs today too. That's cool. It's nice to have abs there due to need a stretch. We will come and relax over that front leg. Let's wiggle our toes. Say, hey, toes. Okay, I'm going to shift back onto my hip, and I'm going to just bring this lasso around my, I don't even know what side, left side? Yeah, that's my left side. And we're going to be bringing the strap over our right shoulder. So from here, we will roll back up into pigeon. Oh no, my strap came undone. There we go. I was sitting on the strap. Give me a sec. There we go. So getting our front hip right first is important. And then from here, let's try supporting at like right at the edge where you can lift your foot to. And then use your hamstring to get a cramp. Oh my goodness. That's good though. We are finding the edge of what we are capable of and dancing on it. So now I'm just rolling up and over, transitioning which shoulder. Let's just breathe, letting our body know it's okay to be here, engaging and then disengaging the muscles. From here, we can roll back onto our hip. Ooh, unthread our foot from our lasso. Put that off to the side. And I'm just going to bring my feet together into a cobbler pose, where we are going to take a few breaths, feeling our heartbeat within us, feeling our breath swirl in and around and back out. I'm hearing the wind outside and thinking very fond thoughts about the crunch of autumn leaves, the way that dry maple leaves smell. That is something different between Missouri and Tennessee, the two places that have been home to me the longest. Tennessee has very wet autumns, and so the leaves smell a bit different. Whereas here in Missouri, it's been very dry, uh, which is okay. Like for the garden, that's fine. It's killing off all the weeds and stuff, so it'll be easier to the cold and the dry is taking its toll. But it makes garden cleanup easier. But the leaves smell different. Hmm. I can't quite. I don't know. I remember the way that smelling the leaves makes me feel, but I can't remember exactly the smell itself. Next time it rains, I'm gonna have to go outside and sniff some damp leaves just to refresh my mental palate. Um, so I don't know. Just it's interesting what thoughts come to mind whenever you try to keep all of the thoughts out of your mind. You know what I mean? Like a trying, oh, let's clear our mind for yoga, for meditation. And it's like, what odd little groundhogs might be popping their heads up, being like, haven't thought about me in a minute. And I'm like, no, I haven't. Tennessee wet leaves in the autumn. Um, so, on that note, I will see you guys tomorrow. Let me know what some of your favorite smells are down in the comments because I'm weird and I think that's interesting. But thank you guys again so much for joining me. I will see y'all next time. And until then, keep on keeping on. Mwah. Bye.